So this is the addition part. This is the a certain number of pixels in the x direction, this whole cosine thing. So I'm actually going to multiply this by, I don't know, 10. We'll see if that's anything like what I need. And the sine part, I'm also going to multiply by the same amount. The hypotenuse of our right triangle is a 1, which makes it relatively short. Well, we have an arrow, but it's not pointing in the right direction. That's because direction is part of the HUD's direction, not the player. We should use the player's direction. That would make it better. And I want my arrow bigger. There we go. Okay. Now what about enemies? You could draw in enemies such that all enemies are shown. That would be a good thing to do for debugging purposes. Another thing you could do is only draw in enemies when they have a direct line to you. So I think I'm going to put in the one with the direct line, just to show you what that would look like. It's basically pretty similar to the wall. So you're actually going to go through all of your monsters and do something like the drawing the walls. So in my case, I have Pac-Man, who's trying to eat my brain. And I need to go through and find out the difference between their x and y's, just like I did with the walls. I'm actually going to just pull that straight over from here. Oh, they don't have an x1 or a y1 or an x2 and y2, though. So actually, we only need half of these variables, because I'm just going to use their x and y position to draw them. So diff x without the 1, diff y without the 1. So Pac-Man, by default, is this x position and this y position. So each one of those is going to have that. I want to draw set color. You're going to be red, because, yeah, red. Why not? Next, I want to draw this guy as a circle. Draw. Is it called an ellipse? Is it called a circle? Draw a circle. Sure. X, comma, y, comma, r I'm assuming is radius. 5. Outline. That's probably true or false. False. And I just realized that's not going to draw in the right place because it's got to be relative to the center x and y. This should be center underscore x plus that. Center underscore y plus that. There we go. And it should be other, because I just made that mistake. And I shouldn't make that again. That would be foolish. Hey, look, there are circles way down there. That seems like it's off by a little bit. Center x plus x, center y plus y. That should be the center of the room. Plus x. What is that madness? Those should be diff x and diff y, because it's the difference I want, not the actual x and y positions. That would be silly. Much better. All right. So that draws everybody. Notice the great deal of circles all on top of me. So this would be useful for debugging purposes in that you could actually find where all your enemies are so that when you need to destroy all your enemies, you can go find where the one is hiding over in a corner. Otherwise, it will take you a long time to debug your project. However, a quick changeover I can do is I can check to see if there's a line between myself and the player before I do this. So if there's a line between x, y, obj player x, obj player y, and if there is a wall basic. Precise, true. Not me, true. That returns an ID number of an object. So if it hits an object, it'll return the ID number of the wall it hit, which is something in the 100,000 range. Otherwise, it will return a special value called not me, which also happens to be the value -4. So if it's greater than 0, we hit somebody. So I want, if it's less than 0, which means I didn't hit anybody, you're allowed to draw the circle in. All right. So notice that they actually appear now. All right. There you go. Mini-map with monsters and creatures, and you can add whatever else you would want. It would be similar to this. Turns on and off. It's in the HUD. It's got a health bar. Beautiful. So all of this is in the 3D demo 2. As far as the requirements for the project go, so GameMaker 2, 3D game. So you have to create a room that uses a 3D environment. You've got to map textures on the walls, floor, and ceiling. Character then can look left and right. You have to react correctly to colliding with walls. You have to have some sort of object you can interact with in your game. So I haven't done the health thing. But basically, if you collided with a star, you could add health. That would be an easy way to do that. You could decide to put ammo in your game. Just create a variable which checks to see how much ammo you have. And if you collide with an ammo pack, it adds to it. Pretty easy to do there. You must have a goal to the game. There must be some way to win and lose your game. And if winning your game is running into a wall that's right next to you, that is lame, and I will give you 0 points for that. So keep that in mind. So that should be everything you need for this game. After that, we start into the real-time strategy game.